Warning, this video may contain very graphic images because we are stepping into the very graphic world of plastic, the origins, and this is the story about our boy, Edwin, in his prime. If you're confused about anything, go check out my plastic playlist and hit the subscribe button because I drop a video every single day. Now, let us begin because a battle is about to happen and I don't think you're prepared for it. And honestly, neither was this jerk who thought it was a good idea to step into a diner and make an enemy of one of the most dangerous men in this side of the country, because that was what he was doing. He was standing before Edwin and disrespecting his friend, his place of business. This will not stand. He asked him straight up, are you so willing to die for a throwaway? But Edwin wasn't even focused on him. Edwin was focused on the friends because they seemed like a bigger threat. One had a gun, the other had a disgusting habit of putting his finger where they did not belong, and the other was busy chewing tobacco. His mouth was probably disgusting as well. Edwin was ready to crash out, but before he could, he was stopped by his boss. I mean, this was her place of business. She was willing to fight for it. Matter of fact, she was willing to use this knife to cut a human being up if she needed to. So he decided to leave, but he made a promise. You put hands on me, kid. Nobody put hands on me. Just remember, what is to follow is all you're doing for a throwaway worth $1.37. And just like that, himself and his crew took their leave. Edwin had to watch as Shorty started crying because she knew she had brought death to their door. But his boss didn't give a damn. A woman in need deserves help. Edwin was just thinking, because right now he was very confused. What the hell is a throwaway? The blind kid knew. Edwin could see it on his face. He was pissed off. He knew the meaning of throwaway. Edwin, however, was still noticing people making mistakes all around him, disrespecting his cafe, mixing fruit. When he came to, he just clarified, yeah, throwaway means prostitute. And he knew, yeah, these guys have to go. And he was very right, because like I said, the eyes of a serial notices very different things. And he noticed this crew was a crew of killers, because they were making plans outside, because they felt disrespected by not just the cafe, but the whole town itself. They had to send a message. Thanks to the advice of their shorty, they realized there was a perfect way to send a message. Sadly for them, they were about to enter very uncharted waters because our boy Edwin was already handling business outside. You see, he don't mix fruit in his presence. With his handy saw, he went to work. This saw and him have become partners for a long time. He even remembers the day he found it. He was a kid and he showed his mother. And of course, she had the look of absolute terror. That is not a toy. That is a tool that can cause serious harm. She knew her son was already different. That would just make him worse. But Cassidy thought, hey, this looks cool. It makes him look like more of a man. He saw this as a perfect opportunity to teach him a little responsibility. Yes, it was a tool that could hurt him, but it was also a tool fit for a growing boy. He can't keep playing with your dolls. So he asked him to promise to use it the right way, and he did, looking directly at his mother. She said, okay, if you're going to use it the right way, no problem. And just like that, he ran out, unknown to anyone else that this was a tool he was going to keep very dear to his heart. He went outside to cut wood, because that is what Cassidy advised him to do. But he knew Cassidy had ulterior motives. He may be a kid, but he knew. And he was just biding his time because he knew bad people had to be punished. Back in the present though, he saw that those people had caused a little bit of chaos in his name, using the exact method he has always used, and he took it as disrespect. He went to his drawer and pulled out the saw. He was ready to do his work until he heard a knock on his door. He knew he wasn't expecting anyone, so he decided to put the saw away and go check on the door. And what he saw was two FBI agents. Why were they here? This made no sense. He didn't mind, however. He decided to play it cool and invited them in. I mean, both of them were actually shocked, but they came in regardless. They just came in apparently to ask him questions about recent events in this town because for some reason he thought he would have the answers. And they were right because he made his opinion be known. I find this behavior offensive and insulting. But he wasn't talking about his own string of murders, no. He was talking about the most recent that these copycats decided to do, tossing the body in garbage. How disgusting. The cops honestly agreed. They just wanted to know if he knew anyone that was acting suspicious. And he joked around, nah, I don't. And I can promise you, it's not me. Sitting inches away from the freezer where he keeps all of his heads. He was really a sicko. He never could admit when he did something wrong. Even when he was younger, when Cassidy found his box of his little friend, he was sure that his friend was alive. He was sure that this was none of Cassidy's business. But Cassidy was looking out for him. He brought him along to say goodbye. He made sure he saw as he bound the box to a big rock. He was planning to throw it in the river so the river could wash it away. But this didn't seem right with Edwin. Matter of fact, this seemed like murder to him. You are about to throw my friend in the river. He will suffer. With tears in his eyes, he begged him to stop. But Cassidy thought he was doing the right thing. Matter of fact, he was doing the right thing. A corpse of a bird in a home? That is disgusting. But Edwin didn't see it that way. In his eyes, he just lost her best friend. And in the future, it seemed like he was about to be forced to make another without his consent. Because in his storage closet at his place of work, he was so confused. His boss came in and corrected him. Yeah, I asked her to stay here. She has nowhere else to go. But Edwin knew this was a mistake. I know that man. I know his type. They do not forgive. They will be back for her. But the look on his boss's face said, yeah, I don't care. So he decided, I don't care either. Walking out. Oh Lord, if he knew what was coming, he would have cared. Right now, though, he had other things on his mind. Not only did he catch someone disrespecting his place of work again by putting boogers under the table, he also had a friend he needed to be replaced. So he went to Booker, since Booker was the only one who knew how to use the internet. But he had to make sure, Booker, you're blind, right? And Booker said, of course. He just wanted to be sure because there are some things I don't want you to see. Some things that if you see may be a problem. Because as we know, our boy Edwin has had his moments of pure rage and pure bloodlust. And what was to follow was jolly singing and putting a head in his freezer. And today's head had one word, booger.